What if Moses never asked Pharaoh to let my people go? Day 1. We are deep in the desert of Midian. Moses stands before the burning bush, but instead of stepping forward, he is paralyzed by doubt. He looks at his own stutter, he looks at the terrifying power of the Egyptian throne, and he makes a choice. He turns his back on the flame, he stays a shepherd. He stays quiet. And the cry of millions of slaves goes unanswered. Day 10. In the heart of Egypt, the sun rises on a horizon of endless construction. There are no plagues. The Nile remains pure. The livestock are healthy. Without the judgment of God to humble him, Pharaoh declares himself the undisputed king of kings. The Israelites aren't a nation being birthed. They are the permanent, biological fuel for an eternal empire. Day 30. The Great Pyramids are expanding at a record pace. With an endless supply of generational slave labor, Egypt becomes a technological marvel, but a moral graveyard. Because there was no Exodus, there are no 10 Commandments. There is no "thou shalt not kill" or "thou shalt not steal" delivered on stone tablets. The very concept of universal human rights, the idea that every person has value because they are made in the image of God, is never born. The world learns that might makes right, and mercy is just a fairy tale told by the weak. Day 100. The tabernacle is never built. The Ark of the Covenant doesn't exist. There is no promised land. The Israelites begin to lose their identity, slowly fading into the Egyptian masses, worshiping the sun, the river, and the stone. The line of Abraham, promised to be a blessing to all nations, is being strangled in the brick pits of Goshen. Let's do a deep dive into the research of what this actually means for our world today. Without the law of Moses, the entire foundation of Western justice disappears. Our legal systems are built on the moral framework established in that wilderness. Without the Exodus, the phrase "let my people go" never becomes the anthem for every civil rights movement in history. There is no blueprint for breaking the chains of tyranny, but the spiritual cost is the heaviest of all. If the Israelites never leave Egypt, they never reach the land of Judah. If they never reach Judah, the city of Bethlehem is never settled by the line of David. The prophecies are severed. The cradle stays empty. The world remains under the shadow of the pyramids, waiting for a deliverer who was never allowed to leave the house of bondage. Looking at this dark, alternate timeline makes the book of Exodus so much more than just an old story. It was the moment the world was given the map to freedom. It was the moment God proved that no empire is too big to fail, and no cry for help is too small to be heard. The Exodus wasn't just a walk in the desert, it was the birth of hope for the entire human race.